here. Let's talk about all the games happened on November 21st. The first game is the Mavericks losing to the Clippers 91-97. Really low scoring. The Mavericks, they're not doing so hot. At the moment, we know Luka is out. Well, they're still the fifth. They lost 3 straight without Luka. I expect them to be the 4th or 5th. Because top 3, Warriors, Suns, Jazz, all 3 teams are really good regular season teams. I think those are going to be the 3 top teams, and with Lakers playing so bad, we'll talk about them later. Mavericks going to be, again, who knows, might have another first round matchup, which is Clippers when Kawhi is back. So it'll be interesting to see where they end up. And Porzingis, 32 minutes, 25 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, what else you got to say about this man? He's the 4th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. And on the season, he's 12th ranked. I mean, this is his last, I don't know how many games, ever since he came back. It was like the best stretch he's played in years. Obviously a sell high, but if you cannot sell him, I think it's okay to just hold it out. But like I don't think at the moment I don't think it will be too hard to sell him for a top 20 player. Porzingis plus somebody for Jason Tatum. Porzingis plus a top 100 guy for Jason Tatum. I think, if you don't really care about the blocks, because Tatum is gonna do everything better pretty much, other than the blocks. He's gonna get maybe 1 point. He's gonna average 2 blocks. So 1.2, 1.3 blocks more per game. But you could get everything else. Probably Jason Tatum does it better. More points, more threes. Rebound, probably the same. Probably grab a little bit more rebounds, steals, right? All these things, free throws. Jason Tatum is better, and Jason Tatum is gonna play more games. So I think that's a trade I would love to do if I can get rid of the Porzingis right now. But if you cannot get a top 20, 30 player back, what are you gonna do? Just hold. It's a matter of how many games is he gonna play. Dorian Finney-Smith, just to 24 minutes. He could be a defensive streamer, and he hit some threes and a little bit of rebounds. Dwight Powell starting every night, not getting enough minutes. I don't understand the logic, to be honest. There's so many NBA teams doing it. Have a starter that starts but doesn't close out game. I don't know. Who is their backup center? Maxi Kleber? Yeah. I guess it depends on the day, But, Dwight Powell consistently never get up to 20 minutes. So, I don't know. Maybe he's playing with the starting minutes for the first 5-6 minutes. Start of the game with him. I don't know. Maybe there's some 4D chess playing with Jason Kidd. Tate Hardaway Jr., 36 minutes. Horrible night. But, with Luka Doncic out, he's going to have some, only 12 shots, but, we could stream him for points and threes always. Jalen Brunson, a must-roster guy, probably a sell high. 20 points, 8 assists, and 3 steals, and 4 rebounds. He is, in the last 2 weeks, 87th ranked player. So not that great. But, he's averaging 5.5 assists. Well, sorry, I take that back. He's the 87th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. In the whole season. And if we look about last 2 weeks, he's 47th ranked player. We look at all the things he's doing. The most important category is the assist. He provides some points, some threes, but most important is the assists. You cannot leave him on the waiver wire because nobody's averaging close to 5 assists on the waiver wire. So let's grab him also a sell high if you can get a top 50 guy. I think a top 40, 50 guy back. I'll be looking to do those trades. Trey Burke, 13 points, and Reggie Bullock played 32 minutes. Only got 2 threes off and didn't do anything else. So let's not worry about him. And LA Clippers, the news came out that what's his name? Nicholas Batum is gonna miss. He's gonna in the health protocol. He's gonna miss 10 days. So I think he's a drop. If you got an IR, your IR is open. Sure, put it in there. But if not, so in the short term, with him out, I think Luke Kennard and Terrence Mann gonna get more runs, depend on the night. So I think they both become, you could roster them in 12 teams. And well, Amir Coffey is actually getting majority of his minutes, 25. But let's not worry about him. I don't think he's a great fantasy player. But the impact is minimal. Luke Kennard and Terrence may get a boost, but not that huge. Paul George, 38 minutes. He's an older. How old is Paul George? Minutes is super high. I mean, as long as he's healthy, I think we could have a situation where he kind of run out of gas in the second half of the year. He's averaging 1.9 steals so far, so I think that might go down a little bit to 1.5. If he gets tired, he doesn't have the effort defensively. But for now, he's great. Again, look at him as a top 10 guy. But he's putting up this level of stat every single night. 25 plus points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a couple of defensive stats. So great, 3 threes. Across the board, really good. Zubac, I think we have to roster him now. His minutes has been trending up and up. He is just the 98th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. But he's averaging 26, 27 minutes. 11 points and 10 rebounds. And, efficiency is huge, 66% on only 6.6 shots. He's a great free throw shooter as a center. If he punting threes, he's a big man. Like, if your team needs, I would just now look at his ranking because he's giving you a huge amount of rebounds and huge amount of field goal. If you like those two categories and efficiency across the board, he doesn't really turn the ball over. Ranking-wise, because he makes absolute 0 threes. Again, like, if you're going into a matchup, like, you're going to win threes or you're going to lose threes. Like, let's say we pound threes using Basketball Monsters model. If we're pounding threes, Zubac, in the last 2 weeks, he is the 54th ranked player. So sometimes one category could swing a player's ranking 50, 60 spots, right? I think for free throw, it's even crazier. Like, who knows, could swing someone's spot by 100. So sometimes look at the ranking, just gotta be careful. I think he's giving us enough good rebounds. So if we need that, I would really roster him. And I look to trade him to a big man team if they love what Zubac is providing. Eric Bledsoe, 26 minutes. I don't think I want to drop him yet. Another bad game. We know he's super inconsistent. Really didn't do anything this game. But I think he's still a hold. Reggie Jackson played well, 23 points. But again, everything else is 23 points and 4 threes is nice, but everything else is empty. Everything else is empty. Let's look at the next game. This game is full of drama. The Lakers got the win, 121-116. LeBron James, he was a minus 15 in his 21 minutes. He had an altercation. Well, not an altercation. It was, to me, LeBron probably frustrated. They were down 11 points to the worst team in the NBA. Maybe not the worst team. Rockets is one of the worst teams. And I think that, nowadays the NBA young guys, they just don't respect older players. I don't want to say they don't respect, but they don't fear them, right? They go out like guys like Jeremy Grant, Katie Cunningham, go out and take 25 and 21 shots. They know it's a national TV game. They know it's against the Lakers. They want to prove themselves. Like, this is the stage for them to prove themselves. So that's great. And they're playing pretty well. Definitely outplaying the expectations. They were up 12 in the third quarter, and then LeBron was frustrated. I don't think he knew that he's gonna make such a big cut of Isaiah Stewart that the blood is gonna, pumping out everywhere like that. Like, LeBron didn't expect that. LeBron just wanna do a little bit of a quote unquote veteran move. Just push him around a little bit. He did not expect the outcome. And what's interesting is Isaiah Stewart originally was fine. Like, he wasn't going crazy. So I don't know what it is. Either DeAndre Jordan was, on the side escalating the situation. Like, how Russell Westbrook and Carmelo is. They like to, stand up for LeBron. LeBron doesn't really need anybody. He's the face of the league. So I don't really know what happened there. I don't know what agitated Isaiah Stewart to go crazy like that. He had to be restrained by 3-4 guys, and at one point he was like, okay, I'm fine, I'm walking out, and then he came back and started going crazy again. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe DeAndre Jordan was saying something to him. But I think LeBron and Isaiah Stewart are probably going to get suspended. I don't know. I don't know why DeAndre Jordan would, I don't know what agitated Isaiah Stewart, but if it's, DeAndre Jordan, Russell Westbrook, those guys talking shit, I don't see why. I don't understand why Russell Westbrook and DeAndre Jordan are, were doing such things, because clearly LeBron basically hit him in the face, elbowed him, cut him wide open. What are you guys doing? Isaiah Stewart didn't do anything wrong. They're just gaslighting on the side, trying to provoke the young guy. Obviously, he's young, couldn't control his emotions. Like, I could totally understand that, but he's probably gonna get suspended. And LeBron, we'll see if he gets suspended. To me, it's if Isaiah Stewart didn't react the way he did, maybe not a suspension, right? It just a play, inadvertent elbow, and that will be it. But because now it's gaining such traction, who knows? The NBA might hand out some suspensions. We'll see, but it's LeBron, face of the league. He won't get suspended more than maximum probably 1 or 2 games. Fantasy wise, LeBron, Lakers were playing pretty bad in the third quarter. They're the worst third quarter team, and right on schedule, they came out in the third quarter. Detroit made a run. They were down 12. LeBron, before he left, 10 points, 5 assists. And LeBron is a guy, I've been saying it a lot, is because Lakers is doing so bad. Like, if the Lakers is doing super well, I would try extra harder to trade LeBron. Consider his ranking is pretty good. He is he's still the 15th ranked player. To me, he's like a top 20, top 25. If he pounding free throws, maybe he's a little bit better. But yeah, I look to really try to sell LeBron. But again, since the Lakers are playing so bad, LeBron has to go hard all the time. So that improve his defensive stats a lot. He's averaging 2 steals, right? If he can average 1.7, 1.8, he could be that top 15 player. But I don't expect him to, get a lot of assists with Russell Westbrook around. Anthony Davis, that's more like it. He's moving into top 5, 4th ranked player, despite shooting just 77% on 6.2%. Over the years, he's low 80s, 85, close to 85, 83, 84% free throw shooter. The last 2 seasons, he has not been good. If he can improve his free throw, he's boom right there with Jokic and Steph Curry. He doesn't make any threes. If he pounding threes, probably top 1 or 2. And the steals are back up after this game, 4 steals and 5 blocks. This is more of the AD we used to know, just popping off defensively. 1.2 steals, he can still do better, and 2.3 blocks, he can do better. So, I guess AD is back this year. We drafted AD at the end of the first, and so far he's been healthy as well. And Lakers, they really do need somebody to carry them through the regular season. While LeBron is trying hard, AD is also giving 100%. Russell Westbrook, he always give 100%. Had another triple-double, almost a triple-double. I think Russell Westbrook is a sell high. If LeBron is playing every single game, Russell Westbrook is not going to put up to this level of stats. Taylor Horton-Tucker somehow came off the bench this game because AD just loved playing that power forward position. He doesn't like to go inside and bang with the big dudes. Gave DeAndre Jordan 30 minutes. Taylor Horton-Tucker, I think he's still a hold. If you didn't sell him high on him, now it's just a hold. I don't think we want to drop him because he is that guy, right? Lakers are very high on, so they should give him good enough minutes. And Carmelo Anthony 30 minutes. Like, a lot of people hate on Carmelo. If he pounding assist, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. If he pounding assist, I know he get absolutely 0 assist. He's the 85th ranked player without pounding anything in the last 2 weeks. You could say, oh, LeBron is out. But I think a lot of it's, he's obviously shooting the ball super well. So let's say with pounding assists, he's the 56th ranked player. And he could average 13.6 points and 2.6 threes. Like, he could totally average 2 points. So, like, if you need those 2 categories, and he's been getting, some steals and some assists. some steals and some blocks. Actually averaging 0.9 blocks. That's maybe he could maybe sustain at that 0.8 blocks and 0.9 steals. I think that's okay. Like he could be your worst player on your 12 teams, right? I think that's okay. Yep. Let's look at the Detroit side. And like I said earlier, Jeremy Grant and Cade Cunningham, they know this is a big stage. They took 25 and 21 shots. I don't know if it's the best idea. Obviously, a sell high for Jeremy Grant. Where is his rankings? 60th ranked player. I don't think Jeremy Grant is that good of an NBA player. But fantasy wise, he gets the defensive stats. He could go off. He could average 20 over 20 points. So all very flashy. So I look to try to sell him for a top 40 guy. If not, probably just hold. Sadiq Bey also played okay, 14 points and 2 threes, only 4 rebounds this game, but had 1 steal. I think he's okay for a hold. And Isaiah Stewart, what are you gonna do? He got ejected. Just continue holding. He had 1 or 2 good games, but most of the time just in foul trouble and not getting enough minutes. Dwayne Casey just doesn't play this guy. And would you look at that? Corey Joseph come in and play 38 minutes. What are you gonna do? Dwayne Casey give Corey, but 7 assists and a steal. That's not too bad. With Killian Hayes out, we could stream Corey Joseph, and Cade Cunningham is great. You probably want to pound field goal with him. 12 rebounds is great, 10 assists and 2 steals and 30 points. I think there's gonna be some drop off. He's been playing super well. The couple of reasons, because rookie guards, they're gonna be up and down. They are, the league is gonna figure them out. They're gonna watch some tape. But they don't. The league probably don't have to worry about Detroit that much. They don't have to game plan them as much. So Cade Cunningham can just go crazy every other game. But if I could sell him, I think his best category is probably gonna be assists and steals. If I could sell him for a top 50 guy, consistent top 50 guy, I would still do it. A good trade target would be somebody like Siakam. Obviously, they provide different level of stats. But if you're pounding field goals and turnovers, then he's great. He might be top 20 if you're pounding field goals and turnovers. Top 20 or 30. If that's the case, then you just hold. Let's go to the next game. We got New York Knicks here. Knicks are running out of gas. There was a lot of hype. They were 4-6 in their last 10. They won their first few games. They were 4-0, 4-1, 5-1. But now everything's falling apart. And I don't know why. The Knicks rotation. They give Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. Why are they starting him? Why they start him? I don't know. I don't really understand. I don't understand the logic. Is it because you can have Derrick Rose coming off the bench playing against the second unit better? Or is it you worry about the ego thing? I don't know. And I do know that other than Julius Randle, RJ grabbed 15 rebounds. That's great. Even last game, RJ didn't get over 30 minutes. He didn't close the game. So other than Julius Randle, everybody's minutes is going to be up and down, depend on the night, which is not very Tom Thibodeau-like. Because usually Tom Thibodeau likes to play the starters 40 minutes a night, if he can, and just ride with them. But this year is completely 360. Completely 360. Other than Julius Randle, who's still getting a huge amount of minutes, of course. 38 minutes. And this is a good game from Randle, 34 points, 10 rebounds. It was a buy low before this game. But again, I do worry once we get to the second half, he's going to run out of gas. But because he's playing pretty poorly, I think we just hold. But everybody else, Nerlens done well. Mitchell Robinson was out this game out with an injury. So he played 26. Otherwise, both guys played 24, 20, who knows. Nerlens has a must roster. The steals and blocks are just too good. Evan Fournier. This game, Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, just the 20 minutes. Wow. So Alec Burks, Derrick Rose, and Emmanuel Quickly, they're getting bulk of the minutes. So we could look to stream them at this point, starting with D-Rose for sure. D-Rose had 9 points, 1 steal and 3. That's great. 9 points with a steal and 3 blocks. Alec Burks had a huge game,
had 5 steals on Saturday night. We could continue streaming him this week. And Emmanuel quickly, same thing. If you need some points, threes, and free throws, look at Alberts, look at DeRozan. I mean, combined they went 11 for 11 from the free throw line. So you could try to stream them this week, but it's possible Kemba gets 30 minutes next game, and Alec Burks gets 15. I mean, all these things are possible. So which make it very hard to make any one of them must roster. Like you could stream them. That's about it. Man, look at the Bulls side. Caruso, 4 rebound, 4 assists. No defensive stats, but he also fouled out. I think that's fine. He's still a hold. Was probably a sell high, a couple games ago when he had that triple double. But if you didn't execute it, it's fine. Just hold. DeRozan continues to be. Would you believe that DeRozan is a better fantasy player than Zach LaVine this season? He was also great last year, but I thought he was washed. I didn't think. Washed is I don't think that's correct. I thought he was gonna take a usage hit, because Zach LaVine definitely the go-to guy, but so far he's averaging 26.8 points. Is that a career high? He's the 11th ranked player, while Zach LaVine is 24th on the season. So that's kind of crazy. Again, DeRozan is a sell high, but if you cannot get a top 20 guy back, I think probably just hold. Who knows? He might be a top 30 player, so the value is very, very similar. But again, we look at his stats. He's giving you a bunch of points and great efficiency from the free throw line as well. I think those are gonna fall off. From the field, 49%. That's probably gonna fall off a little bit as well. He doesn't really get that many assists. Last year on the Spurs, he was dishing out 7 assists with 2 turnovers. 4 assists is still okay, but not like 7. So other than points, the counting stats, he doesn't really shoot threes. So really, his 3 categories is just the points, the free throw, and a bit of everything else. And he doesn't really turn the ball over for a guy that's scoring 27 points. So all those were great. For sure, surprise. Like if you drafted, he was getting drafted pretty late, I think, among all the leagues. So that's really great value. Probably, one of the best picks. Zach LaVine, 21 points. Well, he did provide 1 steal and 1 block. Shot the ball horribly, but to me, it's about how many defensive stats can he get. So this is a good start. Tony Bradley with Vucevic out, just 18-50 minutes, so we could drop him everywhere. And Lonzo Ball did a bit of everything. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and 3 threes, 11 points. Lonzo Ball, in the last 2 weeks, where is his rank? 31st ranked player, so I thought he's underperforming a little bit. On the season, sorry. This is on the season. In the last 2 weeks. He's 28th ranked player. That's actually a little bit high. I don't think he's a top 30 player. Top 50 very comfortably, sure. Majority of his value coming from, he's actually only averaging 4.6 assists. So that's lower than I expected. But 1.8 steals is nice, 0.7 blocks. So to me, it's about how many defensive stats is Lonzo Ball going to get, and that would fluctuate his rankings a lot. So if you can get a top 30 guy back, or do a 2-for-1 to get Jason Tatum, guys like that, I would do it, because a lot of his value is coming from the defensive side, and defense, how much fluctuation you can get. Like he could average 0.5 steals 1 week, and average 3 steals in the week after. So it's hard to just rely on them. It's points, rebound, assists, easier to rely on them. And where would you see that? Kobe White. Here we go. He played 21 minutes, had 14 points. I think if Zach LaVine get hurt or DeRozan get hurt, Kobe White could have, this season at some point he might play 30 minutes a night for a few games and pop off for 30 points. I could see Kobe White do that. But last year was a disaster for Kobe White. not a great starting point guard in the NBA yet. We don't know he ever will be though. The next game, the Denver Nuggets, they got destroyed. Well, without Jokic, it's really not surprising. I think if Jokic continues to be out, JaMychal Green, we could pick him up. And the news came out that Michael Porter Jr., has some serious issues with his back, and he's seeking another doctor's opinion. I think one doctor probably said, yeah, you're done for the season, do some surgery. So he's going to see some other doctors, see what's up. So this is obviously really, really bad. We could get news that he's out for season. Like this is a possibility. You could try to sell him to get any value back. Like if someone on your team, in your league is willing to take a risk to give you like a top 100 guy, like what's the top 100 guy? Like Franz Wagner, right? Even Bobby Portis, I think would be a good try to trade for Michael Porter Jr. It really could go either way. Like if you scared, you're trying to get any value back, sure, because even when he does come back, as we see, he's not himself. So I would rather sell high. Well, not really sell high. Sell him for any value, because there's a good chance that he doesn't come back, and even if he does come back, he's not himself, as we clearly see first few games. So yeah, I think Aaron Gordon, that news obviously helped Aaron Gordon, Will Barton, and Monty Morris. I think we got to roster Monty Morris with this news. Or like look at some of the other guys, Campazzo, because somebody's gonna take Michael Porter Jr.'s minutes. Maybe it's Austin Rivers, maybe it's PJ Dozier. So we'll see. We'll see. For now, hold on tight to Aaron Gordon and Will Barton. Aaron Gordon had a great game. 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. And like if you can sell him high, I would. He was already getting 35 minutes. But now Michael Porter Jr. is out. He might get more rebound and more shots. JaMychal Green, like I said, we could stream him. Will Barton did not have the best game, but that's okay. We know his efficiency is an issue, but the counting stats should be fine. For the Phoenix Suns, this is such an easy win, but Mikal Bridges still played 33 minutes. But just the counting stats are not there. And if the steals, I'm pretty frustrated with Mikal Bridges. To be honest, I don't know why. He's such a good defender. And because the way ranking works, he doesn't turn the ball over, right? Actually averaging 0.7 turnovers on the season, shooting 54% and 79% from the free throw line. Like he could even improve, but he doesn't really go to the line that much. 1.2 attempts per game. That's why his ranking is super good. Like turnover is his best ranking. That's when this player's value is a little bit off when in 9 category leagues, turnover is your best category. But yeah, I just want to see the steal numbers go up. 0.9 steals on the season, so let's wait and see. Jay Crowder could be a streamer. DeAndre Ayton, great game. 21 points, 75% from the field, 8 rebounds, a steal, and 2 blocks. I would take that. It's pretty great. Devin Booker shot the ball pretty well. 7 assists is nice, and a steal. And Chris Paul continued to get assists in a bunch, but he didn't get 14 assists because Devin got 7. Chris Paul to me is a sell high. He's a 9th ranked player, but it's just so hard to get. Like, can you get a top 15 player back for Chris Paul? Like I personally would, but you're probably not going to. On the season, he's averaging 10.7 assists. Like I guess that's possible. 9, 10. I think 11 is a little bit high. 10, 2.3 steals is too high. I think 1.7 is. He's also old. Like 1.7, 1.6 is probably more realistic. And again, health is a concern for older guards. He's been healthy, like really surprised everybody on the Rockets, right? He had hamstring issues, all those, and then in OKC 2 years ago, he just played every game. He just played every game. and put up huge stats. And last year also fairly healthy. So I don't know he's juicing or what he did. He has been incredibly healthy for the past two and a half seasons. So we'll see if he can keep this up. Cameron Payne, because it was a blow. Wow, Chris Paul got 10 assists in 24 minutes. So imagine if this game is 30 minutes, he might have got 13, 14. Cameron Payne played 22 minutes, had a pretty good game. If Chris Paul is ever out, Cameron Payne is the guy I want to grab. And Cameron Johnson, 24 minutes, also played pretty well, but just one game. Let's not worry about him. And let's go to the last game of the night. The Toronto Raptors losing to the Warriors. The 2019 Finals rematch. But how many guys on the Raptors team was on that 2009 squad? I think Fred VanVleet and Siakam, but everybody else is gone. Everybody. Maybe Chris Boucher was there. I don't know. 2 3 years ago. Scotty Barnes. Well, it was also a blowout, so the minutes were pretty low. But Scotty Barnes grabbed 13 rebounds. That is great. Somehow he went 2 for 7 from the free throw line. That is weird. His efficiency has been rough. That happens with a lot of rookies. But I'm glad to see him getting the assists and steals. I think he's been getting a lot of assists lately. So that's great. I think I would just ignore his bad free throw. He's a 169th ranked player because after the free throw is so bad. But he was averaging 4.4 steals 4.4 assists in the last 2 weeks. So that's a huge jump from what he was in the beginning of the season. He also grabbed 13 rebounds here, the most on the team. So all these are encouraging. We could just ignore the free throws. Like it won't happen again. That's when you can see how much free throw. Like he's a 169th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. Let's say we pound free throws. Where's Scotty? Well, I was wrong. He's he becomes a 149th ranked player. So he jumped 20 spots. He's still pretty bad in the last 2 weeks. Let me still pretty bad. Because the efficiencies, but I'm still pretty high on him. I think he can contribute in multiple categories, rebound and now assist. As a forward, he could average 4.5 assists, and if the defensive stats, if he can just get a little bit more defensive stats, I think it's great. Ken Birch, still in 2 blocks, 7 points. Not the most exciting, but we can roster him with until OG comes back. He's already questionable this game. And Gary Trent Jr., this was a horrible game. No defensive stats, 3 for 16, 11 points. Don't drop him, guys. Let's not do that. In the last 2 weeks, he is let's not pound free throws. Gary Trent. Well, he still averaged 20 points, so that's great. In the last 2 weeks, he's a 25th ranked player, averaging 20 points. After this horrible game, 3.6 threes. So let's just hold on to him very tight. If he can average 1.5, 1.6, he's a top 40, 50 player. Like, if he can if he can get 1.5 steals, I think he will be a top 50 player. So let's just hold him. If anything, I would buy low. To be honest, I think at this point, I'm bought that he's gonna average a bunch of steals this season. Anybody that play for the Raptors gonna get a bunch of steals, and we gotta be careful. Like guys who, like for example, if OG gets traded, which probably doesn't happen, to another team, maybe he steals go down. If Fred VanVleet gets traded, maybe he still goes, because within Raptors system, I don't know, they just generate a bunch of steals. Fred VanVleet didn't shoot the ball well, but what else is new? You got to pound field goal when you have this guy. 7 assists is still in the block, and two turnovers. I just want to say one good thing about Fred VanVleet is he doesn't turn the ball over that much. That also helps his value in 9 categories. Just doesn't really turn the ball over that much. And let's look at the Warriors. This game is interesting. Curry. That's why I think Jokic is the number 1 guy. Curry was going crazy at the beginning of the season, like dropping 50, 40 points. But he's not that far ahead of Jokic, to be honest. And Jokic just, in other category, Jokic just does more. It's a lot easier for Jokic to average 10, 11 rebounds. It's a lot easier for Jokic to get those assists because he's just that guy. Usage, everything is going to go through him. And his efficiency is going to be high because a lot of his shots coming from under the rim. It's just a lot easier
for Jokic to be the number one player than Curry. So if you can make that trade, I absolutely would. 8 assists, I mean, still great. Should be top 3 player for Curry. Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins both went off. Jordan Poole is a sell high. If you can get a top 50 value, which people know that Klay is coming back, that will be hard. And then just hold, like, who knows, even when Klay comes back, if he can sustain the steal numbers, if he can be that 1.3, 1.4 steal, he could be a top 70 guy, averaging 16, 17 points with 2.5 threes. So that's already good enough. So if you can get a top 50, fine, just hold him. He's going to be up and down. He's going to be up and down. I mean, this just insane shooting this game, 8 for 11. Kevon Looney, 26. Kevon Looney's minutes is high because I guess they have Ken Burch. But this is not going to happen every game. They like to go small. And Draymond grabbed 14 defensive rebound and 8 assists. If you have Draymond, you got to pound points and threes. Like, if your team is pounding points, probably your team is also pounding threes as well. So that's, that makes Draymond Green's value go up significantly, in the last 2 weeks. 18th ranked player if you're pounding. I know that's pounding a lot of stuff, points and threes, but that's why in 9 category leagues it's usually a good idea to pound some categories. So player you can make some of those trades. A player could be really bad, but if he's on your team, he's contributing huge value. Andrew Wiggins also played well, probably a sell high as well, 32 points. He has had a few big games in the last 2 weeks. I remember that really helps him. But to me, he's just that 100 guy. Give you 16, 17 points and some defensive stats. Every once in a while, he have games that like this. But every once in a while, he will give you 5 points and nothing else. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.